Day 3, Safety in God's Presence. I'm Avery, and welcome to Daily Grace. This season, we are walking through a series called Trust, a Steady Return to God. Trust does not grow through pressure, it grows through steadiness. Day by day, we return to the quiet truth that God remains faithful. Today is day 3, Safety in God's Presence. Sometimes the hardest part of rebuilding trust is the feeling of being unsettled inside. Your thoughts move quickly. Your emotions shift without warning. One moment you feel calm, the next moment something small stirs a wave of unease. Nothing dramatic has happened, but something in your heart still feels unsteady. In seasons like this, people often try to force themselves to feel stronger, to feel more certain, to feel more faithful. But healing does not usually happen that way. The first step in rebuilding trust is not becoming fearless. It is discovering where you are safe again. And one of the quiet truths of faith is that God's presence has always been that place. Scripture says in Psalm 46:1, God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. A refuge is not a place you perform, it is a place you rest. A refuge does not demand strength from you, it protects you while your strength returns. God's presence is not something you must earn. It is where you are allowed to arrive exactly as you are, uncertain, tired, quiet, or even a little guarded. I'm remembering a morning not too long ago when my thoughts felt heavier than usual. Nothing was clearly wrong, but my mind would not settle. Not looking for answers, just looking for quiet. And slowly the room began to feel different. Not because my circumstances had changed, but because I remembered I was not carrying everything alone. God was already there, already steady, already calm. That is how often God's safety begins. Not with dramatic moments, but with small reminders. A quiet room, a deep breath, a few words of scripture, and the gentle awareness that God has not stepped away. When emotions feel unsettled, it can seem like trust is far. But trust does not begin with certainty. It begins with returning to the place where your heart can rest again. And for many people, that place is simply sitting with God. No pressure, no performance, just presence. So today, here's a quiet invitation. If your emotions feel unsettled, you do not have to fix them. You can simply bring them with you. Bring them into a moment of stillness. Bring them into prayer. Bring them into the quiet awareness that God remains near. Sometimes the most important step in rebuilding trust is simply remembering you are safe in His presence. May you move through this day gently. May you remember that trust does not have to rush. God is steady, and you are still being held. Until next time, this is Avery.